friends, my name is Miss Taylor and I'm so excited to be teaching you about World War II. So today we're going to be talking about why the United States got involved in the war. So before we talked about why did World War II begin, but today we're going to be talking specifically about how the United States got pulled in. So first we're going to do a little review. So why did World War II begin? So in World War I, Germany actually lost, and they were very sad because they lost, as anyone would be. Everyone's pretty sad when they lose a game of Monopoly, right? So yeah, Germany was really sad when they lost World War I. So then in 1939, Germany invaded Czechoslovakia and then Poland. So they kind of started invading everywhere, and Germany is located in Europe right here on our world map, and then here we are in the United States of America. Alright, so the attack on Pearl Harbor. So this is actually what launched the United States into World War II. So on December 7th, 1941, so a long time ago, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. So Hawaii is still in the United States, but it's pretty far away. It's on the complete opposite side that we are, so you definitely would have to take a plane to get there. But this attack killed over 2,000 Americans and destroyed or damaged 19 US ships. It was a very tragic attack. Here's a picture of it. It is showing up a little bit blurry, but it's actually, the attack came from planes from Japan and it bombed several 19 US ships. Here's a picture of Hawaii, the islands of Hawaii. So Pearl Harbor is located on Oahu, which is the island where Honolulu is located on, and that's the capital of Hawaii, if you didn't know that, but that's probably, I would say, the most popular island in Hawaii. So this was very tragic to the United States. So the effect on Pearl Harbor. So how did the attack on Pearl Harbor affect the United States? Well, as we said before, the attack on Pearl Harbor launched the United States into World War II. Before that, the United States really wasn't involved, but this really pulled them into it. So this attack encouraged Americans to unite and form a really strong force against other countries in the war. So it brought all Americans together and really helped them unite into the war. Here's a little picture of some Americans holding up an American flag, which is a symbol of our country, and how they were going to fight for our country, which is really great. Alright, so Pearl Harbor today. You can actually visit Pearl Harbor today. It's, again, in Hawaii on the island of Honolulu. So there are several monuments and a museum that shows videos and other items that describe the war. You'll see a lot of artifacts, things from the bombing of Pearl Harbor. You can watch a video there. And this photo actually shows the USS Arizona, which is one of the bigger sunken ships that was destroyed. And this memorial is built on top of it. You can actually take a boat from the land to this memorial, and you can kind of look down and see the ship that was sunken, and there's actually still oil flowing out of it. And we'll read a book in a little bit that will kind of detail more of the events of Pearl Harbor and this ship, but you can see a whole wall of all of the people that were unfortunately killed in Pearl Harbor. So we're going to be learning a little bit more about that in our book. Hi again, fourth graders. So now we're going to be reading our book. It is called Pearl Harbor, Visiting U.S. Symbols by K.A. Robertson. So on the front, does anyone know what this picture is? Good job. So this is a picture of the memorial that is built over the USS Arizona, which is one of the 19 ships that was destroyed in the attack on Pearl Harbor. Great job. All right, so can begin our story. Pearl Harbor is a military base. It is a symbol of sacrifice. So we have another picture of the memorial and some of the other ships that they have here. Pearl Harbor is near Honolulu, Hawaii. It was attacked in 1941. So here we have another picture of the memorial. We have a picture of our United States, and there's a little zoom in on the state of Hawaii and Oahu, which is where Honolulu and Pearl Harbor are. Japanese forces sunk ships. They destroyed airplanes. Thousands of people died. The United States went to war. So there's some pictures of the attack of Pearl Harbor. There are many memorials at Pearl Harbor. So here's a really neat picture of some American flags lining the sidewalk to one of the ships, which you can visit. You can see some people on the ship, which is really neat. People visit Pearl Harbor to remember. They visit to mourn the lost lives. So here are several people on the memorial on top of the USS Arizona. And that's the end. All right, good job, everyone. All right, guys, so we just finished reading our book, Pearl Harbor, and now we're going to go over some of the vocabulary words in the book. So, all right, so our first word was forces. So here's a picture of actually the Pearl Harbor attack and a picture of Japan bombing the ships at Pearl Harbor. So in the story, the word was used in the sentence, Japanese forces sunk ships. So what do we think the word forces might mean? Does anyone know? All right, great job. So the word forces actually means organizations authorized by countries to use weapons and deadly force to support their community's interests. So pretty much in the Pearl Harbor incident, Japan used their forces to attack the United States at Pearl Harbor and sink some of the United States ships. So Japan was using their forces against the United States, and then in World War II, which again, Pearl Harbor is kind of how the United States got pulled into World War II, the United States used their forces to fight against other countries in the war. So our next word is memorials. So here's a picture of a memorial. This one is not at Pearl Harbor, but this is just a memorial somewhere in the United States. So in the book, this was used in the sentence, there are many memorials at Pearl Harbor. Does anyone know what the word memorials might mean? Does anyone have any guess? Good job. So the definition of memorials is things built such as statues or monuments to help people remember events or people. So there are several memorials all over the world. A lot of them are at war sites. You might have visited a memorial in the area. There are just a lot of memorials that kind of remember people and what they did for our country or just them as a person. Good job. All right, so our next word is mourn. So this is kind of hard to show a picture of, but here's just a picture of some people visiting Pearl Harbor, and these people are coming to Pearl Harbor to mourn the lives that were lost at Pearl Harbor. So in the book, this was used in the sentence, they visit to mourn the lost lives. Does anybody know what the definition of mourn would be? This is kind of a tough one. Good job. So the definition of mourn is to feel and show that you are sad for a death or a loss. So if you've ever lost a loved one, you might have mourned them. The people that go to Pearl Harbor, they are mourning the lives that were lost there. Great job. So our last word is sacrifice. So again, this is kind of difficult to show a picture of, but here's just the American flag at Pearl Harbor at the memorial at Pearl Harbor, which we just learned about. So in the book, it's used in the sentence, it is a symbol of sacrifice. So does anyone know what the word sacrifice might mean? Great job. So, sacrifice means to give up something for the sake of something that is more important. So, if sometimes people will sacrifice food for other people, things like that. So it's when you're giving up something that might be really, really meaningful to you to help someone else. All right, so everyone's been doing such a great job in learning about Pearl Harbor and how the United States got pulled into World War II. So to finish up our lesson, we're going to be playing a game of Jeopardy, which is going to be super, super fun. So if nobody's played Jeopardy before, how Jeopardy works is it's kind of like a trivia game, except it's a little bit different than most trivia games. So in Jeopardy, you actually get to see the answer, but you have to come up with the question. So in ours, we have two categories. So we have vocabulary and the attack. So the attack is going to focus more on what actually happened during Pearl Harbor, and these are going to be more question focused. But then the vocabulary section, we're going to get to see the definition, but then we have to try and guess what word that the definition is correlating to. All right, so what should we choose as our first section of this Jeopardy game? How about vocabulary for 200? All right, so our first one is things built such as statues or monuments to help people remember events or people. So does anybody know what vocabulary word this might be? All right, let's see. Memorials. Great job. So the word was memorial. So it looks like we just got 200 points. All right, so what section should we choose next? How about the attack for 100? December 7th, 1941. Now, what question do we think this might be the answer for? Does anybody know? All right, let's see. When did the attack on Pearl Harbor occur? Great job. So the answer is December 7th, 1941. Great job. All right, what should we do next? How about another vocabulary? Let's do 400. We'll get a little bit difficult. All right, so the definition is to give up something for the sake of something that is more important. Does anybody know what word this might be? This one's kind of tricky. All right. Sacrifice. Great job, everyone. Okay, how about we pop over to attack? Let's do attack for 300. The island of Oahu, Hawaii. Ooh, I wonder what that could be. So what do we think the question to this answer is? So this is the answer here. What do we think the question might be? Does anyone know? All right. Where did the attack occur? So where did the attack on Pearl Harbor occur? So the attack on Pearl Harbor occurred on the island of Oahu, Hawaii. Good job, everyone. Okay, we only have 4 more. We're about halfway done. So how about we do vocabulary for 100? Okay, the definition is organizations authorized by countries to use weapons and deadly force to support their country's interests. So what do we think the word might be? Does anyone know? All right, great job. So our word is forces. Awesome job, guys. All right, just a couple more. How about we do our last vocabulary? All right, so the definition is to feel and show that you are sad for a death or a loss. Does anyone know what the vocabulary word is that we're looking for? All right, Morn, awesome job. We're done with the vocabulary section. Looks like we got a lot of points. All right, so how about we do the most difficult one on this side? 400. Japan. Oh my goodness, what might the question be? What do we think the question might be? It's a tough one. All right, we'll have to see. Who attacked the United States in the attack on Pearl Harbor? Great job. That was a really tough one. So Japan, the Japanese attacked the United States in the attack on Pearl Harbor. Awesome job. Okay, last one. Let's see what it is. 19 U.S. ships. All right, so what do we think that the question might be for this one? 19 U.S. ships. Does anybody know? All right, see if that's right. How many U.S. ships did the attack destroy or damage? Great job. So it's 19 U.S. ships that the attack on Pearl Harbor destroyed or damaged. Awesome job, guys. So it looks like our Jeopardy game is done. Great job. Great job, fourth graders, learning about Pearl Harbor and how the United States got pulled into World War II. I'm really proud of you and I hope you all enjoyed this lesson. Bye, guys!